Hey book nerds, Margo from Team Epic Reads here, and it's time to count down another list video. And in this one, I'm counting down my top 10 favorite authors that I will always buy. Whatever their next book is, I'm purchasing it. It's going on my shelf, no matter what. Let's count it down. These are in no particular order, so I'm just gonna go ahead and jump right in. First one is Patrick Ness. Now, I first came to Patrick Ness with The Knife of Never Letting Go and his Chaos Walking series, which is an amazing dystopian series if you haven't read it. And then I read The Rest of Us Just Live Here, and he has a brand new book out called Release that just came out this fall. Now, which one of these Patrick Ness books is my favorite? It's gotta be The Rest of Us Just Live Here. First of all, the cover, it glows in the dark. The hardcover version of it does. It's amazing! And the book is just like, it's that weird combination of where it's like very meta if you're into the YA world and all of that stuff. It kind of like pokes fun of itself, but it's got like magic and some fantasy elements, and it's funny, and it's also heartwarming, and it's just like such a great story, and it's very unique, and I love quirky, weird, like magical realism type stories, so definitely that one. But also check out his brand new book, Release. Next up is Leigh Bardugo. My very first Leigh Bardugo was Shadow and Bone, which I'm sure was the first one for all of you guys as well. Amazing fantasy trilogy, Russian inspired with the Grisha and the Darkling. Swoon! Amazing series. And I honestly didn't think that Leigh Bardugo could top herself. And then she did, with Six of Crows. And this one, for me, I actually love this one even more than Shadow and Bone. I don't know where people mostly stand on that whole debate of which series is better, Six of Crows or Shadow and Bone, but for me, it's Six of Crows all the way. Because it's like fantasy heist story. It's like fantasy Ocean's 11. It's so good. I love her writing style. Her plotting is so intricate. I always get to the end of these books and I'm like, how did she come up with that? She's just been a consistently amazing writer, and I definitely recommend you guys read all of her books. And I'm so excited for her upcoming adult novel. Oh, so many new things coming from Leigh Bardugo. So excited. The next two authors on my always gonna buy list are authors that have actually only published one book, just one book each. But they still count for this list because based on that one book alone, I'm already like, can I just pre-order your life right now? Because I would like to pre-order every single book you ever write ever again. And that first author is Angie Thomas, who wrote The Hate You Give, which is a huge deal in the YA world. It's a huge deal in the world, period. This book has been on #1 on the New York Times bestseller list since the day it came out. It is the most important book that you read this year. It is one of the best books I read last year, one of the best books I've ever read, period. There's gonna be a movie. The book is phenomenal, and Angie Thomas is amazing. This is her debut novel. I know she's got more coming out, but this is her only one that's out by her now, and just based on this alone, I am sold for life. I am an Angie Thomas fan for life. I'm so excited. If you guys haven't read this book, oh, it's so good and so worth your time. The next author on my list also has only one book out, and I'm seriously sitting here being like, how? How does this author only have one book? How? How do I live in this world? And that is Leslie Walton. She wrote this little book, this little under the radar book called The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender. This is one of those books that is like, oh, it is a multi-generational familial story, magical realism. It's sort of like that Tim Burton Big Fish. It's sort of like Big Fish, and where it's like the story of a family, and each generation in the family has like, there's something just off about them and something different. And in Ava's generation, she was born with wings. No, she can't fly. No, she's not part bird. She just has wings, and that's that. And there's like all these scenes in this book where like her and her other family members, like they've got a quirky thing about them, a little magical thing about them, and it's just, that's what it is. And this book is just, oh, it's one of those writing, like those books that will inspire you and make you want to be a writer because it's just that well written. And the story is beautiful and heartbreaking, and oh, it totally is under the radar, and I really sincerely wish that more people will read this book because I absolutely love it, and I will read anything Leslie ever writes in the future. So Leslie, consider this my official request. Please write more books. I really want to read them. The next author on my auto-buy list is Silvera, and he has 3 books out so far. The first one is More Happy Than Not. The second one is History Is All You Left Me, and his brand new book, as of this fall, is They Both Die at the End. Check out that beautiful cover. I was first introduced to Adam before he even published. We went to the Strand and took some pictures together, and we quickly became very good friends. And then he became a published author, and I was first introduced to Adam's writing with More Happy Than Not, and I've read all of his books so far. And even though I absolutely adore They Both Die at the End, love this book so much, I would have to say my favorite Adam Silvera is actually More Happy Than Not, probably because I saw him go through the process of writing it, and that first time you get published and seeing one of your friends get published, it's so cool. Plus I took his author photo for that book, which is super fun. Plus the ending of More Happy Than Not, like, really gutted me, and I didn't see it coming, and he didn't even warn me about it, even though he knew that I was gonna be gutted and emotionally wrecked because of his book. He knew that that was gonna happen, and he didn't warn me. So then when I got to the end of his book, I was just like, oh my god. Why didn't you tell me? Oh my god. Oh my god. And I still think about the ending of that book, and it just breaks my heart every time. So, More Happy Than Not, my favorite Adam Silvera book, but definitely check out all of his other books, including They Both Die at the End. Ugh. Don't ever wear a leather jacket when filming in a small room in front of hot lights. Oh, so sweaty. I have the book sweats. It's what happens when you get really excited about books and you just start sweating. Oh, it's like a book shimmy, but book sweating. The next author on my auto-buy list is Becky Albertalli, the author of Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda and The Upside of Unrequited, which came out this spring. I love Becky Albertalli's writing style. It's endearing, it's sweet, it's quirky, it's cute, it's romantic, it just gives you all the feels and all the swoons, and she creates very authentic, real characters, and you feel like you've known them and you've been best friends with them since you were like a little kid. Like, I love her writing style. I love The Upside of Unrequited, but my favorite book of hers has to be, hands down, Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda. If you've ever watched any of my videos, you will know that I am obsessed with this book. I actually have a little cameo in the movie, which is super exciting. Oh my god. I love this book. I hold this one very, very dear to my heart because it just made me, it will make you believe in love and that there's good in the world, and it will turn that frown upside down, and this book is just so good, and every time I talk about how good it is, I almost start crying because I'm like, it's so good, it's that good. It's good enough and sweet enough that it makes me want to cry, which is the opposite reaction you want to have with a book that's this sweet, but that's the reaction I'm having because it's that good. So I will read anything you write, Becky Albertalli, especially because Becky Albertalli is also writing a book with Adam Silvera, so it's two of my auto-buy authors. They're gonna have a book together! A little book baby between my 2 favorite authors! Oh, I'm so excited! I hope I get to be the book's, godparent, god reader. Sure, that's a thing, why not? The next author on my auto-buy list is also actually the only graphic novel writer to make my list, and that is Brian K. Vaughan. And he started out his career as actually a screenwriter. He even wrote for the show Lost. You might have heard of it. So if you guys are big fans of Lost, you're gonna love all of his stuff. He's most well known for his series The Runaways, which is actually gonna be coming to your TV soon. But I was introduced to Brian K. Vaughan through 3 different graphic novels. One was called Why the Last Man, and it's about a world in which all the dudes die except for one. So one dude among all of the ladies. And then Saga, which is this epic space opera, Star Wars, romantic, Romeo and Juliet saga thing. And then his newest venture, which is Paper Girls, which actually came out before Stranger Things, but is so similar to Stranger Things that when I saw Stranger Things, I was like, huh, that's actually very similar to, And if you love Stranger Things, you should definitely check this one out. My favorite Brian K. Vaughan, though, has to be Saga. Oh. It's illustrated by Fiona Staples, and there is just nothing I don't like about this series. It's on 7 volumes right now. I'm obsessed with the art, the story, the characters, the pacing, the dialogue, the everything. It's so good. It gives you so many feels. I talk about it a lot in my videos because I'm obsessed with it, but it's seriously, if you want something to just blow your mind, definitely read this series. And then read anything Brian K. Vaughan writes. The next author on my auto-buy list is Mindy McGinnis, and I was first introduced to Mindy a couple of years ago with her dystopian novel, Not a Drop to Drink. And this one is probably the bleakest and darkest dystopian novel. I know, it's weird saying that like, oh, dystopian novels are bleak and they can be more bleak than others, but yes, this is the bleakest one. Because it's set in this world where there's no water and there's fighting and killing and it's just, the ending is, whew. But Mindy McGinnis has really established herself as like one of those writers that is just, you know, a Mindy McGinnis novel when you read one, because it is that bizarre and dark, but also has very strong and relatable female characters, and I love all of the books that she's ever written. So after Not a Drop to Drink, she wrote A Madness So Discreet, which is a horror standalone novel set in the 1800s about a girl who gets a lobotomy. This one actually won the Edgar Award, which is like a big, you know, Edgar Allan Poe type of awards. So loving the standalone action in this one. And then she wrote a contemporary novel called Female of the Species, which is about a girl who tracks down her sister's attacker and, you know, beats him up, murders him a little bit. Really amazing, powerful story with this one. And then she writes And then she's written This Darkness Mine, which is actually brand new as of this fall. And this one is like another weird, bizarre thing about a story about a girl who like slowly discovers that she like ate her own twin in the womb, and it's just, what? So that's kind of what you feel like when you read all of Mindy's books. You're just like, what? Oh my god. They kind of just like are a swift, it's the literally equivalent of like a swift punch to your gut, where you're just like, oh my god. Like every single one of her books has that like, oh my god moment in all of them. But my favorite Mindy McGinnis book has to be The Female of the Species. This one blew me away. It was such a powerful story and such a rallying cry. Like as soon as I closed the book and I finished it, I was just like, ah, yeah, let's go, blah, be women's. This book is amazing. Please read it. Standalone. It's wonderful. And if you are just one of those people that you're like, yeah, I like weird stuff, then go and read all of Mindy McGinnis's books. You will not be disappointed. Next on my list of auto-buy authors is the amazing Jody Lynn Anderson. She has written so many YA books and I've read every single one of them. I first was introduced to Jody Lynn Anderson right after I started working for her Epic Reads, actually. Like within the first 2 weeks, it was one of the first books that I read when I first got hired, and it was Tiger Lily, which, again, if you've watched any of my videos, you will know that this is my favorite YA book of all time. I'm not gonna get into it because y'all probably know how much I love it, but let's just say I have very, very, very strong feelings about this book, and I think every single one of you should read it. It's amazing. And then I read her next books. She's got Peaches, which actually came out before Tiger Lily, but I read it after Tiger Lily. Super cute contemporary novel. It feels a little dated now because it was written like pre-social media era and pre-like smartphone era, so when they're talking about like flip phones and stuff, I'm always like, oh, that's quaint and cute. But still so good, female friendship story. And then she came out with The Vanishing Season, which was this odd little standalone set in like northern Michigan, and it's like a friendship story, and there's like a ghost involved, and it has a crazy ending, and it was a very quiet story, but classic Jody Lynn Anderson, which means it was beautifully written. And then she came out with, earlier this year, Midnight at the Electric, which is a trans-generational story set in three different time periods. You've got like the future 100 years from now, and then the Dust Bowl era, and then like the 1910s in UK, and it's just like, and all these different stories and how they're connected, and how those characters from each story, they're all connected somehow, and it's beautiful and it's heartbreaking, and it made almost everybody I know who's read this book cry a lot. So she's written a lot of amazing books, and most of them are standalones. Peaches actually has 2 sequels, or just one sequel. But all of her other books are standalones. And it's really hard to choose which one I like the most. Peaches is upside down. But it's actually not that hard to choose which one I like the most, because it's Tiger Lily. It's always gonna be Tiger Lily. I adore Tiger Lily. It's the best book ever. Oh, so good. I love it so much. And I will read forever anything Jody Lynn Anderson wants to write. So please write more. Please, soon. Please faster, read faster. I need more books. Now I have this new thing where like the end of these list videos, I'm like, I can't choose because it's too hard to choose just 10. I like to pop up like, here are some other ones, like some other authors that I will always auto buy. So get ready to freeze, pause this video, screenshot it, pull up your Goodreads, and add all of these authors because they're amazing and you need to read all of their books forever, ever, and never. Ta-da! Huh, am I out of the way yet? Okay. You good? Yeah? Cool? Did you get it? Sweet. Alright. So that's it. Those are the authors that are on my auto buy list. So tell me in the comments below, what authors will you always read no matter what? Whether it's because you love the writing, you just love them personally, you just, maybe they've got great book covers. Doesn't have to be any specific reason, just which authors will you always 100%, no matter what book they come out with, you're always gonna buy it or read it. Tell me down in the comments below. Can't wait to see what authors you guys add because there are so many. Oh gosh, I can't wait to see what you guys read. Tell me in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to Epic Reads and follow them on Instagram, Pinterest, and Facebook, and all of the social medias, and Snapchat, that's a thing, and book shimmy with everybody down in the comments, book shimmy with me, book shimmy with yourself, book shimmy with your books, do a little book sweating, just like I'm doing right now. And when you get so excited, you do book shimmy, and then that makes you book sweat. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Ta-ta for now, book nerds. Book shimmy!